Hello, everybody. Time for part three of the series that I've been doing, Multiverse Mayhem, where I pit my protagonist. Never say that word. Protagonist, Bloodfang, Michael Kerrigan from my series Blood of the Wolf. Pit him against all the major villains of the multiverse and see who pops up. I don't know who's gonna pop up. I prompt Gemini to give me a random villain to go up against, and we kind of play this out like a D&D game, where Gemini nerds out with me and argues for the villain, and kind of does all the rolls. I might I might arrange it down the line where I do some rolls with dice and let Gemini know what roll I got. I guess that might make it a little more authentic, but Um, for now, Gemini handles that end of it. It tells me what our random villain is going to do, how they're going to attack, and then I have to argue for my protagonist as to how he would respond. And I have to do all of this before the Chaos Rift yanks him back out and throws him into another universe and against another villain. And I don't know how many rounds I'm going to get. That's completely up to Gemini. Um, So yeah, without further ado, here we go. I have already copied the prompt from my docs. Oh, I was wrong. That was actually, I was trying to set up the description section for it, but let's try that again. There we go, that's the one. Okay, let's see who we get. Searching, searching, waiting, waiting. Okay, the Rift violently tears open above a desolate, storm-swept Gothic spire. The shattered summit of Temen Negru. Not familiar with this. Rain falls in sheets as spatial energy crackles across the obsidian stone. The rift violently spits Michael Kerrigan out onto the slick rooftop. Standing at the edge of the monument, back turned to the storm, is a man in a dark blue trench coat, silver hair slicked back, hand resting calmly on the suka of an elegant black sheathed nodachi. He slowly turns, his piercing blue eyes lock onto Kerrigan. You bear power, intruder, but you lack motivation. The alpha of the demon world's bloodline steps out of the storm. Vergil, the son of Sparta. Devil May Cry series. Okay, cool. I used to play that. I just wasn't familiar with the setup. All right, so let's see. Palladium stat sheet. And I've told Gemini to convert everything into Palladium style stats because when I originally created the character Bloodfang, I created him in the Palladium RPG world, Heroes Unlimited, and so that's what the entire series is based on. Is basically his life as a Thunderwolf guardian of Earth, a werewolf god, if you will. Okay, so class, race, half demon, son of Sparta, demonic royalty, alignment, diabolical, IQ 24, mental endurance 30, mental affinity 22, physical strength 48, supernatural. Lore justification, as the son of the Dark Knight Sparta, his demonic bloodline grants true supernatural lifting and striking force, capable of clashing with continent shattering demon lords. Physical prowess 34, physical endurance 28, physical beauty 22, speed 140, translates to hypersonic combat reflexes, freeze frame speed. MDC humanoid form 4500, MDC Sin Devil trigger form 9000, bioregeneration 1d6 times 100 MDC per melee round, passive demonic healing factor, attacks per melee 12, initiative plus 16, strike plus 14, parry plus 16, dodge plus 16. Holy crap. Roll with impact plus 11. This might actually be a hard battle. Weapons and special abilities Yamato, legendary dimensional katana, slices through the very fabric of space and reality. Damage 3d6 times 100 MDC. Dimensional Severing ignores standard kinetic and physical armor ratings. AR-17 is bypassed because isn't hitting the armor, it's cutting the space where the target exists. Slashes right through dimensional fields and can seal or sever dimensional portals. Okay, Mirage Summoned Swords, passive spectral blades spawned at will. Can be set to heavy rain, pinning an opponent in place, or spiral blades, acting as an automated defense shield that automatically parries incoming projectiles, melee at 0 action cost. Judgment Cut End, Rapid Ayajutsu, Spatial Slashes, distorts space in a bubble around the target, striking instantly across multiple angles without needing physical travel time. Sin Devil Trigger and Doppelganger can unleash his full demon form, granting flight, doubling stats, and summoning an exact spectral duplicate that mirrors every attack half a second later. The opening exchange and Vergil's tactical path to victory, the setup. Vergil instantly reads Kerrigan's godly pressure. He doesn't waste time boasting. He draws Yamato by a fraction of an inch. The iconic thumb click on the Suba. Round 1 opening move. Action 1, initiative plus 16. Vergil opens with trick down, trick up teleports, instantly closing the distance before Kerrigan can cast or channel psionics. Action 2 times 3. He doesn't strike the armor directly. He triggers Judgment Cut because Yamato cuts space itself rather than applying raw kinetic force. Kerrigan's adaptive kinetic dampening and AR-17 do not reduce or deflect the strike. Okay. Action 4, Vergil summons a ring of spiral mirage swords around Kerrigan to lock down his movement and intercept any immediate retaliatory Psi Sword or Rune Katana strikes. Okay. Vergil's win condition. Kerrigan is an absolute tank with high hit points and bioregeneration, but Vergil is the ultimate counter matchup for a dimensional traveler. Yamato counters portals. Kerrigan's read open dimensional portal or shadow teleport can be instantly shut down or sliced open by Yamato, which natively severs and manipulates dimensional seams. Spatial bypass versus kinetic armor. Kerrigan's armor is incredible against physical kinetic impact, but Yamato doesn't care about metal density. It cuts the space occupied by the wearer. Speed and parrying with an initiative of plus 16 parry, and automatic mirage sword defenses. Vergil can parry Kerrigan's rune katana, forcing Kerrigan into a high-speed blade clash where Vergil's Ayajutsu, was it Liajutsu? Frame data dominates. The rain hangs suspended in midair for a fraction of a second as spatial cuts blossom around Kerrigan. Your turn, streamer. Kerrigan is trapped in a judgment cut bubble with spectral blades circling him. How does the Bloodfang Patriarch respond to the Son of Sparta? Okay. Well, let's see. He will use his wingless flight. 180 miles per hour. Whoops. To attempt the dodge. Let's see. Just enough to circle Vergil, delivering a back fist with his offhand while drawing his sword with his main hand. And calling lightning. Yeah, why not? Okay, for a mortal god, but you're still far too slow. He's going for the highest speed lateral dodge, 480. But here's the frame data breakdown of why Vergil's speed and spatial mechanics make this opening move an absolute nightmare to pull off cleanly. The dodge versus judgment cut mechanics. Movement speed versus refined speed. 480 miles per hour equals roughly 704 feet per second. Incredible for travel and tactical repositioning. But Vergil's base speed stat is 140 in Palladium scale, hypersonic Mach level combat bursts. Okay, not sure that's completely accurate. But spatial distortion, judgment cut isn't a projectile traveling through air that you can outrun. It's an instantaneous bubble of spatial slashes opening on your exact coordinates. Attempting to maneuver out at 480 miles per hour means Kerrigan is flying directly through the active spatial racer grid. Huh, okay. The Ring of Spiral Swords. Remember, Vergil pinned Kerrigan with Spiral Mirage Swords. As Kerrigan ignites Wingless Flight, those floating blades automatically target his trajectory to interrupt the burst. Okay, the back fist counter strike and armor interaction. Kerrigan circles around Vergil's flank and snaps out an offhand back fist backed by supernatural physical strength, 71 plus 69 damage modifier. Vergil's initiative plus 16 and parry plus 16 with demonic reflexes. Vergil doesn't even need to fully turn. As Kerrigan comes around his blind spot, Vergil uses Yamato's scabbard Saya to execute a blind reverse parry against the back fist. If the back fist lands, Kerrigan's supernatural strength packs a massive punch. With Vergil's 4500 MDC, he can take the hit, but it forces him back a few yards, skidding across the wet stone. The Rune Katana and Call Lightning. Kerrigan draws his indestructible Rune Katana with his main hand and channels Call Lightning. Vergil's elemental resistance. Vergil routinely tanks thunderbolts from Alistair and electric demonic energy, like Cavalier Angelo. While lightning deals solid mega damage, Vergil's passive 1 die 6 times 100 MDC bioregeneration per round will immediately start sewing that damage right back up. Okay. The round one counterattack Vergil's next move. Vergil absorbs the shockwave of the lightning, his trench coat snapping in the stormy wind. He doesn't even flinch. He smiles, his demonic aura flaring into a brilliant cyan blue. Mirage sword pin as Kerrigan swoops in at 480 miles per hour. Vergil fires heavy rain swords. Spectral blades rain down vertically from above, pin Kerrigan's shoulders to the roof, and kill his flight momentum. Dimension bypass slash, seeing Kerrigan wielding a rune katana, Vergil realizes he's facing a fellow master swordsman. He steps into Kerrigan's range and executes drive, a massive wave of vacuum spatial energy launched straight from Yamato. Targeting the pilot, not the armor, Yamato's spatial cutting mechanics target the physical space Kerrigan occupies. Even if the nanotech armor tries to dampen kinetic force, Yamato's spatial tears bypass the outer shell to deliver direct damage. Show me your motivation, Blade. Vergil is stepping into close quarters blade combat. I take it somebody's home. Uh, Vergil stepping into close quarters blade combat. How does Kerrigan handle the heavy rain swords locking him down while Yamato comes in for a duel of sword? Chat, what's the play? Okay. Hey, watch know how Morgan psionics could break Vergil from watch. Okay. Well, if it's got to be pinned, then he slams his hands into roof beneath him. He blocks the ceiling. Structure. Allowing him to fall free. and fly toward the nearest window of the floor below as he shifts into his werewolf form. And where's his red eyes? Yeah, I don't think you're gonna have much more room than that. Okay, high IQ environment play. Instead of trying to brute force through Yamato or tank the spatial cuts on open ground, Kerrigan uses the very structure of Temen Negru against Vergil. Here's the tactical breakdown of how this chaotic retreat and shift plays out on the frame data. Environmental destruction with a supernatural physical strength of 71. Kerrigan slamming both fists directly into the stone roof doesn't just crack it, it delivers an explosive structural shockwave that shatters the ancient masonry. Breaking the pin, the heavy rain swords were tracking Kerrigan's coordinates in there was to pin him to the stone. By obliterating the stone floor beneath his feet, the ground gives way instantly. Gravity plus 285 pounds of pure muscle drops him out of the lock-on line of sight before the spectral blades can fully drive home. The werewolf transformation and stat boost. As he free falls into the pitch black upper floor of the tower, Kerrigan unleashes the beast. MDC explosion. Kerrigan's stats surge immediately. His height doubles to a terrifying 12 feet, and his divine nanotech armor scales up, instantly boosting his pool to a massive 3000 MDC. Awe horror factor, his crimson eyes flare through the dust, and falling stone, a 12-foot werewolf dropping into a dark gothic corridor carries a massive horror factor, forcing Vergil to make a saving throw to maintain his icy composure without flinching. Vergil's counter trick down into the darkness. Vergil stands at the edge of the newly created crater, looking down into the dark, ruined hall below. Dust billows up around his trench coat. He doesn't look angry, he looks amused. Changing your shape won't change your fate, Wolf. Air trick pursuit. Vergil doesn't bother taking the stairs. He uses air trick, dematerializing into a blue streak of light and reappearing inside the lower floor, stepping gracefully onto a fallen pillar, right as Kerrigan bursts through the window frame back into flight. Summons sword track, even in the dark interior, Vergil's demonic perception tracks Kerrigan's massive 12-foot silhouette effortlessly. He summons spiral blades, a orbiting shield of ghostly blue swords that spin around his own body to prevent Kerrigan from taking advantage of the tight quarters for a grapple or ambush. Beast versus Blade, recognizing Kerrigan is now a towering 3000 MDC juggernaut, Vergil shifts his stance into Beowulf. His demonic gauntlets grieves or prepares Yamato for judgment cut in, ready to slice the entire room into a grid of spatial tears. The current situation, Kerrigan is now a full 12-foot werewolf form with 3000 MDC flying through the shadowed enclosed corridors of Hemen Negru. Vergil is teleported down right into the room with him, surrounded by orbiting defense blades. What's the next move? Kerrigan uses the tight indoor quarters to haul Vergil into a supernatural grapple. Or does he bring out his fly sword and biomanipulation now that he's in full battle form? Okay. Well, uh, he doesn't go easy on demons. In fact, they are what brings out his most brutal moments. He uses his psychic diagnosis and psychic surgery to target Vergil's vital organs. Coupled with telekinesis to crush them. He then uses the opportunity, if he has it, for a barrage of attacks. See, Kerrigan isn't playing a game of swords anymore. He's dropping the honorable warrior act and leaning directly into his apex predator instinct, combining psychic diagnosis to locate targets inside the body with perfect surgical precision, psychic surgery to bypass outer tissue armor, and telekinesis super to crush vital organs directly from the inside out as a terrifyingly lethal tactical sequence. Here's how the frame data, saving throws, and demonic biology resolve this brutal assault. The inside-out psionic attack, bypassing the MDC barrier because psychic surgery operates at a psionic biological layer rather than delivering kinetic or physical force to the outside of the body. It completely ignores Vergil's 4500 MDC, his armor, and his orbiting spiral blades defense. The target. Kerrigan uses this psychic diagnosis to pinpoint Vergil's heart, brainstem, and internal demonic arteries, then uses super telekinesis to exert hundreds of pounds of crushing force. Oh. Delight, we have light. Telekinesis to exert hundreds of pounds of crushing force directly onto those vital organs. Saving throw versus psionics. In Palladium, psionic attacks targeting a mind or body directly require a save versus psionics. Vergil's mental endurance is 30, giving him a solid +8 to +10 save modifier. The result, Vergil's eyes widen as his internal organs are violently ruptured and crushed from within. He coughs up dark crimson demonic blood, his concentration breaking instantly and causing his orbiting spiral blades to shatter into blue light. Hit point direct damage. Since this bypasses MDC, the damage goes straight to Vergil's internal physical core, dealing heavy critical damage and completely staggering him. Vergil's demonic physiology and bioregeneration. While a mortal would die instantly from having their heart and brainstem crushed, Vergil is the son of Sparta. Demonic vitality, half demons and devil may cry like Dante and Vergil routinely survive being impaled through the chest, decapitated, or bisected by their own swords. Their internal organs aren't purely biological, they are sustained by demonic spirit energy, double trigger. Passive bioregeneration, 1d6 times 100 MDC hit points per round. The moment his heart is crushed, his demonic blood forcefully heals and knits the tissue back together, but the pain and shock freeze him in place, leaving him completely open. Kerrigan's barrage of attacks, 11 attacks per melee. With Vergil staggered, clutching his chest and coughing blood, the 12-foot Bloodfang patriarch swoops in at 480 miles per hour to capitalize with her full physical frenzy. Physical strength, 71 supernatural, plus 12-foot werewolf claws, rune katana, strike 1 through 3, a brutal combination of heavy claws and rune katana slashes, ripping through Vergil's coat, carving deep MDC wounds across his chest. Strike 4 to 6, Kerrigan grabs Vergil by the throat with his massive clawed hand and drives him directly through the stone floor of Temen Negru, slamming him down into the subterranean foundation. Strike 7 through 8, biomanipulation, okay, I didn't say that, but whatever. Biomanipulation, paralysis, pain. Kerrigan pushes more psionic energy into Vergil's nervous system while holding him pinned, overloading his pain receptors. Great. Taking liberties with my character now. Okay, fine. Vergil's desperate counter, Sin Devil Trigger. Battered, bleeding, and realization hitting him that this wolf god can attack his internal organs at a thought. Vergil's eyes turn pure glowing red. The sheer humiliation and threat push him past his limits. Enough. Sin Devil Trigger explosion. A localized shockwave of demonic fire erupts from Vergil's body, blowing Kerrigan back. Vergil sheds his human form, transforming into his full Sin Devil Trigger form, a massive armored blue demon with fiery wings, boosting his MDC pool to 9,000. Doppelganger summon. Realizing Kerrigan can target his single body with internal psionics, Vergil instantly creates a doppelganger, a shadow clone made of pure demonic energy. Now there are two targets, and the shadow clone has no internal biological organs for Kerrigan to diagnose or crush. Heavy counter stance, SDT. Vergil draws Yamato with both hands, while the doppelganger mirrors his stance. They prepare to launch a dual judgment cut end that will dismantle the entire lower level of the tower. Current situation, Vergil is severely hurt on an internal level, but he has unleashed Sin Devil Trigger, 9,000 MDC, and summoned a doppelganger shadow clone with no biological organs to bypass. Both are winding up for a spatial annihilation strike in close range. How does Kerrigan handle the dual SDT Vergil and his shadow clones? Okay. A wolf senses instantly can tell the real from the fake. He is in a bit of a berserker frenzy, being that this is a demon. He launches at Vergil to attack from behind and digs his clawed hands into Vergil's eye sockets to peel off his skull cap. While digging his clawed feet into Vergil's back for leverage. Not sure if that'll work, but Kerrigan's Apex Animal Instinct completely renders Vergil's shadow clone useless. His recognized smell and tracking and supersensory wolf abilities instantly pick up the scent of actual demonic blood and flesh, completely ignoring the empty phantom energy of the doppelganger. Fueled by a berserker rage against demonic filth, the 12-foot patriarch leaps. Here's how this horrific visceral grappling maneuver resolves against Sin Devil Trigger Vergil. The berserker grapple and anatomical dismantling, sensory bypass. While the doppelganger tries to flank, Kerrigan completely ignores it and launches his 285-pound, scaled up in 12-foot beast form frame directly on, well, he'd be heavier at that point, onto Vergil's back. Leverage and supernatural physical strength. Kerrigan slams his massive clawed hind feet directly into SDT Vergil's back, locking his claws, not talons, he's not a bird, between Vergil's heavy chitinous shoulder plates to anchor himself. Gory execution move, reaching around from behind, Kerrigan drives his clawed fingers straight into SDT Vergil's glowing eye sockets, leveraging his physical strength 71 to violently peel back the front of Vergil's skull plate. MDC critical and horror impact, and Palladium's mechanics targeting a specific limb head with a called shot and supernatural strength deals critical structural damage. SDT Vergil's 9,000 MDC pool takes a massive direct hit as demonic blood, blue energy, and shattered skull plating spray across the dark cathedral floor. Vergil's reaction, the Chaos Rift triggers. SDT Vergil lets out a horrific guttural roar of pure demonic rage and agony. He has never been humiliated or disfigured like this in combat. Yamato blind thrust. Driven by sheer survival instinct, Vergil reverses Yamato and thrusts the spatial blade straight backward through his own midsection to impale Kerrigan, who is latched onto his back. Spatial energy explosion. As Yamato's edge pierces the space between them, the blade's dimensional cutting energy unleashes a massive spatial shockwave, tearing the immediate atmosphere to shreds. The chaos clock accelerates. Just as Yamato's spatial explosion detonates and Kerrigan is tearing at Vergil's skull, the unpredictable chaos rift opens. Rift above Tiananmen Negru violently opens wide. The unstable rift pulls with immense gravitational force, locking onto Kerrigan's dimensional signature. The pull. The dimensional rift sucks Kerrigan off Vergil's back before a final killing blow can be struck. Vergil collapses to his knees, clutching his face as demonic blood pours from his shattered helm. His Sin Devil trigger form flickering and burning out. The result incomplete. Rifted out mid-fight. Aww. Vergil survives by the skin of his teeth solely because the multiverse clock ran out. Alright. That worked. Had to go a little brutal there. Wasn't sure how that one was going to go. Let's see. Total wins 3, total losses 0, incomplete rifted out 1. That's the first one where he's been rifted out before he could actually beat him, so that's kind of cool. The purple spatial energy of the rift pulls Kerrigan out of Temen Negru, spinning him through the void of the multiverse once more. Okay. Yeah, let's see what the next one does. Open the next rift. Where are we going next? Yeah, for those of you who haven't had a chance to read my series Blood of the Wolf yet, check out the description down below. I've got links to uh, the 3 that are currently in the series, and what the hell is this? Wow. Oh, the Lich King. Okay. Um, the 3 that are in the series currently, uh, and then also links to my Instagram and TikTok, so you can follow me there. Also, please do like, follow me on YouTube, and share this with your friends. Trying to build the chat, the hype, and the multiverse mayhem. Okay, the purple rift tears open into howling sub-zero winds and blinding white fallout. Kerrigan tumbles out onto a terrifyingly slick frozen platform suspended thousands of feet above an endless sea of glaciers, the frozen throne atop ice-crowned citadel. Sitting on a massive throne of jagged ice, surrounded by ancient chains and floating frost runes, is a towering figure encased in spiked, dark serenite armor. Blue spectral flames flare behind his icy visor as he unsheaths a massive runic broadsword that hungrily hums with the screams of a billion stolen souls. He rises slowly, raising the rune blade as frost creeps across the stone. An arrogant god stumbles into my realm. You will join the ranks of the Scourge, or serve as nourishment for Frostmourne. Brace yourselves, Lord of the Scourge, the Lich King, Arthas Menethil, World of Warcraft. Steps up to challenge the Bloodfang Patriarch. All right. Palladium stat sheet. The Lich King, Arthas Menethil. Class race, Undead Sovereign. Lich King, fused with Ner'zhul and Helm of Domination. Alignment, Diabolical, IQ 21, ME 32, Mental Affinity 26, Physical Strength 52, Supernatural. As the physical vessel of the Lich King wearing the plate of the damned and fused with the helm of domination, his dead flesh is saturated with cosmic death magic, allowing him to trade physical blows with Titan constructs and dragons. Physical prowess 24, physical endurance 35, physical beauty 10, speed 40, MDC plate of the damned and Saronite armor 6500 MDC, necromantic bioregeneration 2d6 times 50 MDC per round, absorbs necrotic ambient energy and soul remnants, attacks per melee 10, initiative plus 10, strike plus 12, parry plus 14, dodge plus 10, roll with impact plus 9. Weapons and special abilities: Frostmourne, Rune Blade of the Damned. Damage 2d6 times 100 MDC, Soul Steal, hit point bypass, attacks spiritual essence directly. Any strike from Frostmourne targets the target's soul and life force directly, bypassing physical kinetic armor and MDC shells straight to hit points. If a mortal or god drops to 0 hit points, their soul is permanently trapped inside the blade. Okay. Remorseful winter, an aura of absolute sub-zero necrotic blizzard. Negative 100 degrees Fahrenheit surrounding Arthas in a 100-foot radius deals 2d6 times 10 MDC per round to all inside and obscures vision. Defile places a pool of black necrotic shadow under the target's feet. Every second a combatant stands in it or takes damage, the pool doubles in radius and doubles its damage output exponentially. Helm of Domination. Helm of Domination, Psionic Mind Shield. The helm houses the collective mind and will of millions of undead souls, grants absolute immunity to mind control, illusions, and direct psionic biomanipulation. Oh, it's getting smart. The hive mind instantly absorbs and diffuses mental biological overhauls. Soul Reaper and Summon Valkyrie, or Valkyr, can strike with corrupted necrotic energy that detonates a target's haste, speed, or call down Shadowbound Valkyr to grab targets and carry them off the edge of the icy spire into the endless abyss. The opening exchange and Arthas's tactical path to victory. The setup. Arthas doesn't care about martial honor or speed reflexes. He commands the element of death itself. As Kerrigan hits the icy spire, Arthas activates his domain aura. Opening move. Action 1, initiative plus 12. Arthas slams the tip of Frostmourne into the ice floor, erupting remorseful winter. A freezing necrotic tempest fills the summit, cutting visibility down to 0 and pelting Kerrigan with extreme necrotic frost. Action 2, Arthas casts Defile directly beneath Kerrigan's boots. Black Death energy pools under Kerrigan. If Kerrigan doesn't move immediately, the pool expands rapidly, ramping up exponentially in damage. Action 3, Arthas prepares Soul Reaper, raising Frostmourne to carry any incoming physical charge while channeling a deadly curse to detonate Kerrigan's physical momentum. Arthas win condition. This is a terrifying counter matchup for Kerrigan for 3 big reasons. Helm of Domination nullifies biomanipulation, psionics. Kerrigan's lethal internal psionic surgery and biomanipulation won't work on Arthas. He is an undead corpse, animated by the divine magic of death. He has no living organs to crush or diagnose, and the Helm of Domination buffers his mind against psionic intrusion. Soul damage bypasses nanotech armor. Frostmourne doesn't need to break Kerrigan's 1500 or 3000 MDC armor. It feeds on spiritual essence and hit point directly. Arena control and environmental hazard. The slippery ice platform with ice crown citadel combined with Defile and Valkyr Shadow Guards means Arthas can force Kerrigan off the edge or rot him down through attrition. The blizzard howls as the black pool of Defile spreads beneath Kerrigan's feet. Your turn? Okay. It uses wingless flight to stay off the ground. That's the wolf tattoo. Whoops. Tattoo magic. Unleash his spirit wolf companion to distract. He flies toward Arthas, hauling lightning. Big was he? I don't know if it said. Oh, he's a demon lord. Let's see. Let's towards Arthas, calling lightning. And using his medical knowledge, strike at, whoops, vital areas with his rune Hana, like the jugular and brain stem. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, Kerrigan completely negates the defiled trap by taking to the air with wingless flight at 480 miles per hour, but fighting the Lord of the Scourge on his home turf comes with unique undead mechanics. Let's break down how this opening assault resolves. The Spirit Wolf Companion versus the Scourge. The summons, Kerrigan taps his magic wolf tattoo, summoning his ethereal Spirit Wolf onto the slick ice. The distraction, the Spirit Wolf lunges across the frozen platform, barking spectral howls to draw Arthas's aggro. Arthas's reaction, Arthas doesn't even turn his head. Frostmourne hungrily hums in the presence of a spirit entity. With a flick of his wrist, Arthas casts Army of the Dead, Raise Dead, causing skeletal ghouls to burst from the ice to swamp and entangle the spirit wolf in a clawing wall of rotting flesh. Wingless flight and call lightning. The approach. Airborne at 480 miles per hour, Kerrigan zeroes in on Arthas through the swirling snow of remorseful winter, channeling his rune katana to call lightning. The elemental clash, the lightning bolt shatters the freezing blizzard and strikes Arthas directly. Thunder echoes across ice-crowned citadel. Arthas' 6500 MDC Saronite plate absorbs the crackling energy, but the kinetic impact forces the Lich King back a half step, skidding across the ice. Medical precision strike versus undead physiology. Kerrigan swoops in at blinding speed with his indestructible rune katana, using his master level medical knowledge to target Arthas's jugular and brainstem. The strike plus 10 strike. Kerrigan's blade slices straight through Arthas's neck guard and decapitation point with surgical accuracy. The undead counter mechanic, here's the catch. Arthas is a corpse. He has no blood pressure, no pulse, no oxygen flow to his brain, and no working jugular vein. The helm of domination and his soul corrupted dead flesh sustain him, not biological organs. Targeting his vital areas with medical precision deals solid rune katana mega damage to his Sarnet armor and neck structure, but it fails to paralyze or instantly kill him the way it would a living mortal. The round one counterattack, Arthas strikes back. As Kerrigan's rune katana bite deep into Arthas's neck, the Lich King doesn't bleed. He slowly turns his head, icy blue flames raging behind his visor. Your anatomical knowledge is worthless against Death Wolf. Frostmourne's Soul Strike. Arthas swings Frostmourne in a brutal horizontal arc right as Kerrigan passes by. Because Frostmourne targets the soul and life force directly, it bypasses Kerrigan's AR-17 and nanotech armor MDC, dealing direct damage straight to Kerrigan's hit points. 2,473 pool. Soul Reaper detonation. Arthas infuses the strike with Soul Reaper. If the blade hits, a necrotic curse afflicts Kerrigan. If he tries to fly away or use high-speed maneuvers in the next few seconds, the curse detonates, dealing massive necrotic damage and slowing his combat actions. Valkyr summon. Two towering, shadowy Valkyr shadow guards descend from the storm clouds above, swooping toward Kerrigan from his blind spots to grab his wings, shoulders, and drag him. I don't have wings. Off the edge of the icy spire into the 10,000-foot abyss below. The current situation, Kerrigan's Spirit Wolf is entangled up with Scourge's ghouls. Arthas has completely ignored the decapitation attempt due to being an undead entity, and Frostmourne is swooping in for a hit point, bypassing Soul Slash while Valkyr closes in from above. How does Kerrigan handle an opponent who doesn't need organs to survive? Does he bring out the Psi Sword, drop a telekinetic force field, or pull out the big guns? We would know the force field doesn't do anything. Well, it does help against magic. It just doesn't stop it. Okay. He erects his force field. His sixth sense picks up instantly on the approaching Valkyr. He knows necromancy all too well, being that his brother and nemesis is the Lord of Death. Necron and a Thunderwolf on his level. So while being with his brother and nemesis is Lord of Death, Necron, and a Thunderwolf on his level. Let's see. Using the momentum of the Lich Wings attack, he would try to dodge and circle to grab the hilt of the Lich King's blade to overpower him and drive the blade through his own Valkyr before disarming him, use his own blade on him. Who knows it'll work. Kerrigan isn't just fighting a random death knight. His backstory against his own brother, Necrom, Lord of Death, gives him deep personal operational knowledge of high-tier necromancy and soul-binding mechanics. Here's how Kerrigan's sixth sense telekinetic force field and supernatural physical strength 71 clash with the Lord of the Scourge. Sixth sense and telekinetic force field, 30-minute impenetrable shield. Sixth sense reaction, Kerrigan's sonic radar flares instantly as the Valkyr drop from the clouds. In Palladium, sixth sense gives a +6 to initiative and +2 to dodge, completely denying Arthas any surprise round bonus. The telekinetic wall, Kerrigan erects his telekinetic force field because the TK force field is completely impervious to physical attacks, taking damage only from magic and psionics. The physical talons of the swooping Valkyr bounce right off the glowing sonic barrier. The martial arts disarm versus Frostmourne and physical strength 71. Now for the main event. Kerrigan uses the momentum of Arthas's heavy swing to slip inside the guard, grab the hilt of Frostmourne, and use a martial arts master disarm redirect. Strength class, supernatural physical strength 71 versus 52. Kerrigan's supernatural physical strength is 71 plus 69 damage modifier. Arthas' supernatural physical strength is 52 plus 37 damage modifier. Kerrigan has a staggering plus 19 raw strength advantage. When Kerrigan clamps his clawed hands over Arthas' gauntlets on the hilt of Frostmourne, the sheer mechanical leverage of the Bloodfang Patriarch stops Frostmourne dead in its tracks. Redirecting into the Valkyr, using his superior physical prowess and martial leverage, Kerrigan violently wrests control of the rune blade. He pivots Arthas's massive body and drives the soul-stealing edge of Frostmourne straight through the chest of the descending Valkyr. The Soul Shatter effect, Frostmourne hungrily consumes its own shadow servant's soul essence, completely obliterating the Valkyr in a violent flash of dark blue spectral energy. The Disarm. With a brutal twist of his hands, Kerrigan wrenches Frostmourne free from Arthas' grip. The Lord of the Scourge is disarmed on the top of his own throne. Turning Frostmourne against the Lich King, Kerrigan now wields Frostmourne, a blade forged in the maw, saturated with millions of dead souls, and raises it against its former master. Targeting the Helm of Domination, realizing physical decapitation doesn't stop an undead entity, Kerrigan drives Frostmourne straight down into Arthas' headpiece, the Helm of Domination. Soul bypass damage. Because Frostmourne deals 2d6 times 100 MDC, hit point direct damage, and attacks spiritual essence, driving the Lich King's own blade through his crown, delivers a catastrophic, soul-shattering critical strike straight to the spirit of the Vergil and Arthas. The Shattering. Cracks of blinding blue energy erupt from the Helm of Domination. The sky above Icecrown Citadel shatters like glass as millions of freed souls explode outward in a swirling vortex of white light. Arthas drops to both knees, clutching the shattered fragments of his visor as his undead connection breaks, his Saronite plate collapsing into empty, lifeless armor on the ice. Victory for the Bloodfang Patriarch. Kerrigan hurls Frostmourne into the frozen abyss below as the Scourge forces around the Citadel collapse into the motionless dust. Oh, okay. I thought there'd be a little more to that, but all right. Total wins 4, total losses 0, incomplete, rifted out 1. The snows settle over the quieted summit of Icecrown, but the Chaos Rift hums violently behind Kerrigan, swirling with erratic crimson light. Okay. Yeah, you know what? Let's go for one more. Why not? Open the rift once more. Okay, Kerrigan is yanked from the silent frozen solitude of the now vacant frozen throne. The transition through the chaotic, unstable dimensional rift is jarring, and he is violently deposited onto a completely different world, one choked with green radioactive fire and a ground of black, cracked volcanic rock. He has been dropped onto the homeworld of a technologically advanced, incredibly warmongering race, Argus, the seat of the Burning Legion, World of Warcraft lore. Oh, another World of Warcraft, okay. Kerrigan hits the ground hard, rolling to his feet, as a shadow that blocks out the entire sky is cast over him. Towering hundreds of feet above him is a colossal biomechanical structure that is less a living being and more a localized catastrophe. Clad in massive articulated armor of abyssal saronite and pulsing with virulent hellfire, with a single massive eye that glows with blinding cosmic hatred, the Reaver, the planet-cracking war machine. Gladium stat sheet, the Reaver, planet cracker tier. Class race, ultimate siege engine, burning legion, world ender. Alignment, diabolical. Guided intelligence core. Okay. Oh, IQ 10, guided intelligence core. Mental endurance 40, sonic mind shielded. Mental affinity 15, physical strength 90, robotic equivalent to supernatural when scaled to colossal size. Physical prowess 20, physical endurance 35, physical beauty 5. It's ugly. Speed 70 translates to slower moves but massive acceleration charge speed. Height 350 plus feet tall. Weight 150,000 tons. MDC, ablative fellfire hardened armor, 18,000 MDC core structure, 7,500 MDC head eye, 5,000 MDC per leg, 6 total legs. Self repair, nano swarms can repair 1d6 times 50 MDC per minute unless fellfire is extinguished. Attacks per melee 8. Initiative plus 10, strike plus 12, parry plus 10, dodge plus 8, roll plus impact plus 10. Okay. Weapons and special abilities. Fellfire Siege Cannon main armament. A colossal weapon mounted on its arm core. Damage 3d6 times 1000 MDC. Requires 1 attack to charge. Fired every second action. Ignores standard kinetic armor and kinetic dampening. Thermal plasma. Deflection protocol, passive AR bypass. The Reaver is too massive to standardly dodge. Its AR is effectively 19. Any roll of 19 or lower glances off its massive frame, regardless of what it is hit with, as the angle prevents effective penetration of the main armor shell. Seismic stomp, leg mounted drills. It can bring all 6 legs down in a synchronous stomp, dealing 1d6 times 100 mega damage in a 200-foot radius, causing immediate knockdown. Saving throw required. Scourge Protocol, Legion Swarm Summon. The Reaver doesn't fight alone. While Kerrigan struggles against its massive frame, it can open dimensional portals on its own surface to deploy waves of smaller, agile Legion soldiers, imps, Felguards, Moarg engineers onto its own hull to disable or distract Kerrigan. Radiation and Felfire Fallout. The Reaver radiates 1d6 times 100 MDC necrotic plasma damage within 100 feet. The environment itself is hostile. Well, his suit protects him from that. The opening exchange and the Reaver's tactical path to victory. The setup, the Reaver doesn't speak. It detects Kerrigan as a localized energy signature that does not match the Burning Legion's network. It instantly shifts into its combat protocol. Round 1, opening move. Action 1, Initiative 10. The Reaver's central eye locks onto Kerrigan. It activates Scourge Protocol, opening dozens of small portals across its main body, deploying a horde of flying, suicide-bombing legions, imps to swarm Kerrigan. The massive Felfire siege cannon begins to glow with a blinding, terrifying green light as it starts charging for a blast that can level a mountain range. Kerrigan has exactly 1 action to interrupt this charge or get clear. Action 3, as Kerrigan is distracted by the swarm, the Reaver brings its massive rear legs down in a seismic stomp, completely shattering the ground, ensuring Kerrigan cannot easily use standard ground mobility or set up a telekinetic force field against a blast that massive. The Reaver's win condition. This is an absolute attrition and size mismatch for Kerrigan. The deflection protocol, AR 19. Kerrigan's AR of 17 is powerful, but a simple roll of 19 or lower will see his physical and energy attacks simply fail to penetrate the Reaver's titanic armor shell. Size difference and interruption. Kerrigan cannot simply grapple or decapitate the Reaver. A 350-foot war machine cannot be easily displaced by a 6'3" god or even his 12-foot form. The interruption game, the Reaver will deploy an endless stream of smaller soldiers to ensure Kerrigan can never complete a complex spell, channel biomanipulation on the main intelligence core, or get a clean, uninterrupted strike on the central cannon. The big shot, if Kerrigan does not interrupt the siege cannon charge now, he is taking a planet-cracking blast straight to the face, a blast the adaptive kinetic dampening does not reduce. The green fallout rains down, and a swarm of screeching imps explodes from the Reaver's hull. Your turn. Okay, let's go for it. He erects telekinetic force field as he flies toward the siege engine. Pulls lightning direct to the siege cannon and circles searching for a port because this thing is so damn big. He's going inside. His suit protects him from the radiation. Shinji Ikari style exploration move. Instead of trying to trade blows with a 350-foot planet cracker on open ground, Kerrigan realized the safest place to fight a giant war machine is from the inside where its big guns can't aim. Here is the frame data and tactical resolution of Kerrigan's high-speed breach. Swarm blocked. Suicide bombing imps dive bomb Kerrigan but explode harmlessly against his telekinetic force field. The 30-minute impervious barrier tanks the physical shockwave without flinching. Targeting the cannon charge, airborne at 480 miles per hour, Kerrigan channels his rune katana and sends a massive call lightning strike directly into the charging muzzle of the Fellfire siege cannon. The overload. Lightning meets concentrated fell plasma. The volatile green energy inside the barrel ignites prematurely, causing a massive internal backfire that blows out the cannon's secondary heat sinks for 3000 MDC to the Reaver's arm structure. Finding the port and breaching the internal hull. Suit protections. Kerrigan's divine nanotech armor is completely impervious to thermal toxin, radiation, and vacuum environments. The intense fell radiation bathing the Reaver's hull bounces off him effortlessly. Finding the breach, Kerrigan circles the Reaver's massive shoulder housing at top speed using his Sea Aura and Presence Sense to trace the machine's internal energy conduits. He spots a glowing maintenance vent, exhaust chute, feeding cool fell liquid into the central CPU core. Supernatural entry, driving his indestructible rune katana into the vent plating. With his supernatural physical strength 71, Kerrigan peels back the thick saronite hatch like a soup can lid and flies straight into the Reaver's internal passageways. The Reaver's internal countermeasures the engine room. Kerrigan drops into a narrow, humongous chamber filled with colossal rotating gears, conduits of boiling green energy, and the pulsing crystalline intelligence core of the Reaver at the end of the hall. Internal defense systems. The Reaver realizes an intruder is inside its central processing vault. Wall-mounted plasma turrets and automated repair construct droids deploy from the ceiling, unleashing a wall of heavy suppression fire inside the enclosed space. Self-purge protocol. The machine initiates a total internal coolant purge, flooding the chamber with superheated 5,000-degree Fahrenheit plasma and kinetic shock waves to melt anything trapped in the maintenance tunnels. Okay. All right. Current situation: Kerrigan is inside the brain room of a 350-foot war machine. The main siege cannon outside is ruined, but the inner chamber is flooding with superheated plasma while security turrets lock onto him. How does Kerrigan destroy the intelligence core from the inside? Uh, he uses his pyrokinesis to cool things down. Whoops. Things down. Making his way along the crystalline structure. Batting away the droids as he goes. What image is it creating? Okay, thank you for the image. How does the fight go? Kerrigan doesn't just tank the heat, he uses pyrokinesis, specifically the thermal siphon aspect, to manipulate and drain ambient heat, to flash freeze the incoming 5,000-degree Fahrenheit fell plasma purge. The scalding green liquid instantly crystallizes into brittle, smoking slag heaps under his boots, creating a clear walkway through the engine room. Here's how the frame data resolves this internal assault. The swarm, dozens of mechanical repair constructs, and ceiling turrets lock onto Kerrigan, firing concentrated plasma bursts across the narrow walkway. The offhand SWAT, with a supernatural physical strength of 71, Kerrigan doesn't even need full sword swings As he advances toward the core, he casually swats the heavy droids out of the air like pesky insects using his offhand back fists and shield strikes. The 500-pound droids are crushed by his raw physical force, smashing into the chamber walls and exploding into scrap metal. Breaching the crystalline intelligence core, Kerrigan arrives at the end of the walkway, standing directly in front of the massive pulsing intelligence core, the brain housing the Reaver's processing matrix. Targeting the brain, the core is protected by heavy saronite, reinforcement bars, and a localized force field, but Kerrigan isn't trying to grind down 18,000 MDC of outer armor anymore. Side sword telekinesis execution. Kerrigan ignites his psi sword, which passes straight through physical kinetic armor and hits direct hit point core systems, and channels telekinesis super to grip the core's internal fiber optic matrices. It's like thinking for me at this point. The strike, Kerrigan drives the psi sword deep into the center of the crystalline matrix. The psychic blade cuts through the machine's consciousness like a hot knife through butter, instantly frying its central CPU. Okay, the Reaver's cataclysmic collapse, system failure. The entire 350-foot war machine shudder violently as its central brain goes dark. The glowing green fell conduits across its entire body turn pitch black, then begin to overload violently. The explosion, the Reaver drops to its 6 knees outside, crashing into the volcanic dirt of Argus with a mountain-shattering thud. Flames and secondary explosions ripple through the maintenance tunnels. High-speed escape, Kerrigan ignites his wingless flight at 490 miles per hour, shooting back out through the severed vent chute right as the Reaver's entire power plant detonates behind him in a blinding mushroom cloud of green fire. Victory for the Bloodfang Patriarch. Kerrigan hovers high above the burning wreckage of the planet cracker as the secondary explosions level the surrounding landscape. All right. Well, cool. Being that it was that big, I kind of saw that one coming because, yeah, you don't you don't take on anything that big directly. Um. So yeah, I think we'll stop this here. Next time we'll start a new chat. I don't know if it's just I erased the last chat, so I think it's just that it knows my stats, my character sheet, so it's already anticipating my moves, I guess. But yeah, I wish it would give me a little more say in what I'm doing. Anyways, kicked its ass. Only had one stalemate, so that's cool. Anyways, yeah. So check out the links below in the description for my books on Amazon. I got Blood of the Wolf, Blood Moon Oath, Blood of the Wolf, Matters of State, and Blood of the Wolf Nemesis, which was the most recent one to be released. I will have another book being published here soon. It's not a sequel; it's more of a prequel, but doesn't really say that it's a prequel. So it's kind of more of a loosely based one. Anyways, yeah. So hope y'all enjoyed. Like, follow, share with your friends, and I'll talk to you soon. Later. Let's see who we go against next.